Okay, so hey guys, today we're going to look at the top 5 Hill Climb Racing 2 songs. Now, these are obviously based on my opinion of how good the songs are, and yeah, so on to number 5. Now, on number 5, we have Reef. Now, the reason this is so low on the list is because this song doesn't have any guitars in it. And the use of instruments here is very different compared to all the other songs. And it's got this kind of weird, like, space vibe to it. Like, it almost feels like you're going, like, deep under the water, which I guess is the whole point of this. And honestly, there's, like, this sense of mystery that goes on when you listen to the song. And honestly, it doesn't have much of a banger compared to the other tracks. It's more like very chill, sort of like the beach soundtrack. And that's probably why it's number 5. Okay, so now moving on to number 4. Okay, so number 4 on the list, we've got Mountain/Winter. Now, the reason this is also kind of low on the list is because of the fact that Fingersoft has decided to make this track for mountains, but then when they released the Winter adventure map, they decided to just use the same one as Winter. So now, it's actually just called Mountain/Winter, and who knows when Winter will have its unique soundtrack. And I think the only reason they use this soundtrack for Winter is because of the fact that at the end of the song, it's got this kind of like, this kind of effect that gives off the effect of cold, like at the end of the song, and also at the beginning it has this really cool instrumental with the guitars, almost as if you're gonna like reach the top. And originally the song is called "Reaching the Top," which makes sense because it's for mountain, and the whole song just gives off the atmosphere that you're trying to get like to a higher like level, and it's honestly a really cool song. Now moving on to number 3. Okay, now moving on to number 3 on the list, we've got Patchwork Plant. Now, I adore this soundtrack because of the fact that, as I said before with Reef, the instruments here that they use are very, very different. And I just love the kind of, this kind of like steampunk kind of feel to this to this song. And also just the map itself is so different compared to all the other maps because of the fact that all the other maps take place on the outdoors, but this map takes place in an entire factory made of like these parts of vehicles, and even on the background you can see there's literally tuning parts on a conveyor belt, and there's like these whole magnets and everything. Now that's not the reason why this song is cool. It's because the song gives off the feeling of mystery and like mischievous, this mischievous feeling. And in the song, you can also hear like these clangs of metal, which are actually the robots in the song, in the map that you see, which, let me tell you, are super annoying because you have to turn them on to actually pass through the level, and they're pretty frustrating. Okay, so now moving on to number 2. Now, this is the first soundtrack that you will ever hear when playing the game for the first time. And honestly, this song is probably the best song that any mobile game has ever made to make an introduction to their game. Just the beginning opening of the song gives off the feeling of adventure, and like it almost sounds like you're going on this amazing adventure in the countryside. And just the countryside map itself is so colorful, and it's just, you can even see these giant green hills in the background. The whole map just gives off the feeling of adventure, and honestly, this is the reason why it's on number 2 on the list. But now, moving on to number 1. And now, number 1, of course, Mines. Now, when the first time I heard this song, I always thought that it sounded so cool. Just the fact that you can hear the pickaxes clanging on rocks, and like the little like guitar that goes on in the background, it's just amazing. Like, the song itself is so good, and it fits so well because at one part of the song, the guitar goes from one ear to the left, almost as if giving the feeling of resonance, which makes sense because it takes place in the mines. And like just the opening of the song is so cool because it fits so well with with the theme of this map because it's the mines, and you can hear pickaxes clanging and like water rustling and everything. It's such an amazing soundtrack, and that's why it's on #1 on this. And yeah, well, we've reached the end of the list, and yeah, I hope you guys liked my top 5 Hill Climb Racing 2 songs, and yeah, oh, no, 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 what's going on? No, no, no. Oh, oh.